Hi guys, and welcome to this deep dive special. Now today is a special one because it is launch day for a brand new product, and I've got the creator right here with me and we're going to talk about it in depth. So, but before we do that, if you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you'll be notified every time we put a video up right here on YouTube. And remember, this coming Tuesday, that's Tuesday the 17th of December, we have our online Christmas party happening on our Facebook channel and right here on YouTube, where you're in with a chance of winning something out of our prize pot of well over £1,000 worth of magic, and you'll get to learn some new effects and enjoy a night of magical fun. So it's free to attend. Just come here at 7 o'clock Greenwich Mean Time on Tuesday the 17th of December. But I know the person that I'm going to interview now is very busy and he's shooting off to a gig very soon, so let's get this done. It is the one and only and the legend and my very good friend, Mr. Craig Petty.
Always a pleasure to be here on Alakazam. How you doing, Pete? You okay?
Mate, I am good. I'm good. I'm just going to start calling this the Petty Deep Dive because you are killing it with releases. Absolutely killing it.
I'm trying, man. It's hard. It's and you know as well as me in this industry, you never know where things are going to drop. Like, it seems that, like, I went through the whole middle of the year without anything coming out, and now all of a sudden at the end of the year everything's come out. But that's kind of how it is. You never know when you're working with a production company when they're going to be dropping the trick. Like, we bought out The Bag Reborn a week ago, and that was shot, very early on this year, and you never know when things are going to drop. So I had no idea that Focus, which is obviously what we're talking about, was going to be dropping at the end of December. I was expecting a 2025 release, but I'm excited about it because I think it's killer. I love it. I really do.
Do you know what? It's really, really good. We've got them in stock now, so I've been playing with one, and you showed me the original idea to this long ago, and the moment you showed me it, I know you sort of pretty much exposed this in the trailer. You tell people exactly what it is, which is pretty much your MO. You tell them what they're getting, which is great. Now, you've got so many clever things built into this, but the thing that really excites me, and I know there are various decks with various themes that do similar things that you've brought out, but the thing that excites me about this is the movie theme, because I am a movie lover, and if I was to bring out this deck, everyone will go, well, it's Peter, of course it's going to have that deck, that movie theme deck. And I sort of know a lot about movies, or I did, but so this will fit me fine. So I nabbed myself the first one as soon as the Murphy's delivery come in. I grabbed one.
You are right. Like, I bought a lot of decks out, and it started with Evoke. Evoke was groundbreaking. It was very, very different to anything anyone had seen before. Me and Phil worked out a way of actually, coding full words on the back of a playing card, and we've been experimenting with that ever since. Now, I've probably bought out like 5 of these this year. We bought out the Infinity deck. We bought out Evoke, the Heroes and Villains deck, and
that's another great one as well.
Here's the thing. I honestly believe, and all of those are great, I honestly believe that Focus is absolutely the best one. I think we left the best till last, and this might be the last kind of deck like this that I bring out for a while. And this is the one that I've always wanted to do, because as much as I love Evoke, and everybody performs Evoke, especially Mentalists, this is more me. When you see me at switch this off. When you see me at a gig, I'm less likely to be talking about people's emotions, and I'm more likely to be talking about films and stuff like that. So this is kind of the deck that I always wanted to produce. And I got the chance to work with Phil Smith again, who is, I said before on a video a while ago that the word genius in this industry is bandied around way too much as far as I'm concerned. But with Phil, It's absolutely warranted. Phil is a genius, and I'm so lucky that I've had the chance to work with him on so many different projects. And what we managed to do with this, beyond the cinematic theme, was, we've taken everything in ways that I never thought we could. But the biggest thing that we've done is a lot of these speciality decks are designed for the mentalist. I think, you look at Evoke and you look at Infinity Deck and things like that. It's designed for the mentalist because that's what it allows you to do, right? It allows you to read minds, make predictions, so on and so forth. What I really wanted to do with Focus was have it so that one deck could work for mentalists and would allow them to do some incredible mind reading. But at the same time, I wanted it to be able to work for magicians, and I wanted to be able to do visual magic with it as well as mentalism. And that's what we managed to achieve. And if you look at the trailer, you'll see me messing around with the Ghostbusters card, with Slimer popping on off the Ghostbusters card, cards being printed. Half of the tutorial is visual magic that magicians would love to perform, but with something that people can relate to more than a playing card. And what's interesting, Pete, when I perform with Focus, I'll say to somebody, I've got all these different movie posters. Do me a favor, pick a movie poster. And they'll pick one, and I'll go, perfect. Are you happy with that one? And they'll go, nah, I don't like that film. Give me another. Let me have another one. And it's really interesting. It shows that people can relate to movies.
Yeah.
You don't get that with a pack of cards. You don't spread out a pack of cards and go pick a card. And you go, you happy with that one? And they go, nah, I don't like the Three of Diamonds. Let me grab a different one. It never happens. People relate to movies. And that's what makes this deck so special as far as I'm concerned. It works for magicians. It works for mentalists. When you think about all the other specialty decks I've released, it really was all about the marking system. It was about the marking system and how... And look, the marking system on Focus is the best we've ever done by far, but like by a country mile. But with Focus, it's so much more than the marking system. It's so much more than anything else that's come before, and that's why I love it so much. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, 100%. And you're absolutely right. Movies, it doesn't matter who you speak to, they will have a memory or a connection to a movie. It's the same as music. You hear a certain tune, it takes you back to when you first heard it or a special moment in your life. It's the same with movies. And I remember, we've done a lot with movie tricks. Obviously, Simon Shaw's original director's cut. The moment we released that, we saw the power of movies with spectators. Because if they pick a movie that they enjoy, a funny movie, they start to get those memories back. I think it's great. I love it, and I picked myself one up straight away. I think it's very clever the way that you've built magic and mentalism in. But there's something you've done on here that I've never seen before. And that is, you get, as the performer, you get information delivered to you that is not even on the card. Now, I've never seen that before.
That's because, as far as we're aware, it's never been done before. I remember we originally had the deck set up to mark various different things.
Yeah.
And I remember saying to Paul, I said, Phil, can we mark something on there that's not actually on the card? And he's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, it'd be really cool to mark something on there that's not on the card. So and that's what we did. And when he realized what I was talking about, he's like, that's genius. That's never been done before, because that completely eliminates the method. Now, if you don't understand, what I mean is Focus is made up of 26 movie posters and 26 quote cards. We'll get to that in a minute. Yeah. But let's just say you're using the posters. The posters have certain information on them. They have the name of the film, obviously. There's have a whole bunch of stuff, but there's a load of stuff that's not on the film. There's a load of stuff, that's not on the cards. For example, it doesn't have the date the movie was made. It doesn't have the box office. It doesn't have the director's name. It won't have the characters. There's a lot of stuff that's not on there. However, that information is marked on the back of the card. So you can have somebody pick a card, and the cards are designed so that you can have them shuffled, or you can have them in cyclical stack, you can have them in alpha stack. There's lots of different ways that you can set them up. The versatility with this deck is insane. And you can have somebody, imagine this, you can literally go out in the room. You can have them cut the deck as many times as they want to. You can have them take a card, look at the movie, and put it away in their pocket. You can then come back and put the rest of the cards away. Instantly, you now know, for example, the box office of the film, which was never on the card. So you can say to them, is this a film that you know and you're aware of? And they go, yeah. And you go, great. Do you know the box office? And they're going to go, no, don't know the box office. Why would you? Even if you're a fan of Ghostbusters, for example, there's a very slim chance that you'd know the total box office. And you go, okay, no problem, Google it. So now they go on their phone and they type in Ghostbusters box office. But before they do that, you can make a prediction because you know what it is because the card has given you that information. It's kind of crazy, really, that system is built into Focus. It's great.
It's so clever, and I've never seen it before. Like you said, I don't think it exists anymore, and or it's existed before you've done it. Now, it helps. For one, it makes the performance even more interesting because you are now getting information that is purely in their mind and not on the card. So that's a great thing. The other thing is as well, and not that this will ever happen, but if anyone was going down the road of, somehow he can see from the back what I'm looking at on the front. And I don't think that will ever happen anyway, but if anyone was thinking down those lines, suddenly that's now out the water because it's not on the front.
Do you know where the inspiration for this idea was from?
No, go on.
It was from you.
Oh.
It was from Hollywood or Bust. Yeah. Because that's what you did, Pete. For those people that don't know, Pete had a routine where he would have somebody think of an actor. He'd have somebody think of a film, and then he'd have you think of like the main actor in the film, or the other way around, or whatever it is. And it involves having an encyclopedic knowledge of films. You had to have a really good knowledge of films because you'd have to kind of work out in your head, right? Okay, they're thinking of Indiana Jones. They're probably going to be thinking of Harrison Ford, for example.
Yeah.
And I never had that knowledge that you had that made that routine work, and I always wanted to do it. This allows me to do a very similar thing, but without needing to have that encyclopedic knowledge of film.
I will say, because a lot of people sort of say it's my routine. The original Hollywood or Bust is Colin Miller's. Colin Miller from Heirloom fame. My version of it is different to Colin because I performed it for years. So I honestly think I probably performed it more than Colin, even though it's his routine. So I had tweaks and little touches that suited me, but it was really good because I don't want to talk about Hollywood or Bust, but relating it to this, Colin called the process blind reading. So for a part of that effect, you are sort of reading their mind because I would know what movie they've written down or what actor it would go the other way. I used to do it the other way. So they would write down an actor. Now it was down to me to get them to think of a movie this person starred in. Now, the only way I could sort of get that was to truly read their mind. Mm-hmm. And I had to sort of work out what movie I think you're going to go for. So that was really interesting for me as a performer because it was the only part that really felt like I was trying to read your mind because I was thinking, right, okay, look at this guy. What movie is he going to like that Tom Cruise has been in? Which one? And then how am I going to get to that? Now, that's great with this as well because you have got moments in there where that work is done for you. There's no working out because you know what the thing is. But it's truly just information that's, as far as they're concerned, in their mind. It's not written anywhere. So that's it. It's such a clever deck. And like you said, Phil Smith is a genius.
Phil Smith is a genius. You know what else that I love about this? And I know there's going to be comparisons to Evoke. Naturally, there is. Evoke was 26 cards. And it was in alpha stack and it can be shuffled. And what we did with this is we made it a full deck. So you have 26 movie posters and you have 26 quote cards, iconic quotes from the films. But the quote cards are the 26 films that are depicted on the movie posters, which means there's 2 cards for each movie. Now, what that means is there is so much versatility with how you set up the focus deck. You could have everything shuffled together, no problem. You could have just the movie posters shuffled, or in alpha stack, or in cyclical stack. You could have just the quote cards in alpha stack or cyclical stack. You could have a deck of cards and bring 2 packs of cards out, and you say, these are the quote cards, these are the advertising cards. You could have the entire deck of 52 cards in stack. But if you think about this, now, because you've got 2 cards of each film, any matching couples routines you can do immediately. So if you want to do a matching couple routine, let's say you want to do Will the Jacks match, but you want to call it Will the Films match. Imagine doing an ESP matchup routine, because the cards are fully marked on the back with more information than ever, and they're so easy to read. They're as easy to read as mind blocks. Imagine doing an ESP matchup routine where you have the 5 movie posters and they have the 5 cards with quotes from those movies. And now you're doing an ESP matchup routine with those 5 cards. Imagine any ESP routine done with cards that have posters and have quotes on them. Imagine doing any mirror stack work. Imagine doing any of stay stack work. Imagine doing oil and water, where you're separating movie posters from quote cards. Imagine doing an Out of This World, where they separate the cards into posters and into quotes. The fact that there's 2 cards for each film opens up so many possibilities.
Yeah.
And it looks like just a game, but it opens up so, and that's why I wanted to do that. I wanted to have separate quote cards and separate film cards to give people the versatility of setting this up however they wanted to.
Yeah. The first trick I did with it when I opened my set was, I don't know if I ever get this right or right. Gemini, is it Gemini Twins, where you stick the card in face up? So you're going to deal down whenever you want, take that card, drop it in. So I've got the quote cards and they match the movie. That is Gemini Twins, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah, Gemini Twins. Yeah.
And that was the first thing I done with it, with 2 quote cards and 2 movies, and I got obviously quotes that I knew everyone was going to like. I only had to pick 2, and it's just a really fun thing.
Well, what you can do with Gemini Twins, is you can take 2 blank cards that are blank on both sides, and let's say you're going to use Ghostbusters and you're going to use X-Men, for example. So you have the deck set up so you've got all of the quotes, but you've only got 2 movie posters, which is X-Men and Ghostbusters, and they're at the top and the bottom of the stack. And you bring out 2 blank cards and they've got prediction on them. So now you do Gemini Twins. So they deal, they say stop, you put the blank card in there. They deal, they stop, they put the blank card in there. And then when you spread out, just like Gemini Twins, you take out the blank card with the card next to it. And you say, let me turn over the predictions and show you what's on the other side. And it says movie poster, X-Men. And then you turn over the card they put it next to, and it's the movie poster for X-Men. Then you have them turn over the next one, and it says movie poster for Ghostbusters, and they turn over the card, and it's movie poster for Ghostbusters. And you say, well, I'm really glad you put the cards there. Do you know why? And they go, no. And you go, of course, they're the only 2 movie posters in the deck. Every other card is a quote card, and the only 2 movie posters in this deck are the 2 that you picked.
Brilliant. That's great.
So you can do that.
We're going to watch the trailer. Actually, let's
Before
watch
you do,
the trailer.
Yeah. Okay. No, I was going to say one more thing with the quote cards that I think is really worth talking about, and I'm so happy. This is what took the longest in the project, is that we've built the mother of all book tests into the quotes, but these are real quotes from real movies. Right. You have no idea how long this took, because the films, in order to put them into alpha stack, have to run from A through to Z. So I had to find films that ran through to from A through to Z. Because it's meant to be a card game, it had to be an eclectic range of films, some modern, some contemporary. You want to have action, you want to have horror, you want to have a bunch of everything, but also films that everybody will know or be aware of. And then you have to pick films where there is an iconic quote in every film that has the mother of all book tests built into it. Now, that's basically the long word principle. So in other words, each quote on the quote card, there is only one long word. So for example, Ghostbusters, the quote is, Ray, if someone asks if you are a god, you say yes. Now, that's an iconic quote from Peter Venkman. Everybody who knows Ghostbusters knows that quote. It's a great quote. But if you actually think about that quote, the only long word they can think of is someone. So now you can have them think of a quote card. You can have them take a quote card, and you can have them think of any word on there. And what the marking system will do is immediately it will tell you the person who said the quote, the long word on the card, so you don't have to fish for first letters. You don't need to do that. It'll tell you the long word. It'll tell you the person who said the quote, and it will also tell you the first line of the quote. So you can actually tell them the long word, and then you can tell them the first line of the quote, and the person who said the quote, and the film that the quote was for. And it'll tell you that on the card that they've taken, so you can have it from a shuffle pack. But it will also tell you all of that same information in alpha stack or cyclical stack. So you can have them take a card, you can put the card to one side, and you can just look back at the talon of the deck, and immediately you're going to get that information.
It's so cool. So cool. So I tell you what, let's take a look at the trailer, and then we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit more about it, and then we will wrap up and let our viewers go and order one before they sell out, because I think they're going to sell out soon.
I think they will as well.
Okie doke. So, ladies and gentlemen, here is the trailer for Focus.
Who framed Roger Rabbit?
That's just impossible.
Yeah, they've gone. That's the magic car.
That's insane. That is insane.
What the fuck? Not many people have a favourite playing card, but everybody has a favourite movie. So, instead of struggling to find common ground with a boring old deck of cards, why not connect with them using a deck of movie cards? Would you agree that no one could know what these cards are or what order they just don't see it, friends? So let's have a look. Spider-Man. Spider-Man.
You're joking me.
Taken. Taken.
How can that be? How can that be?
Zoolander and Zoolander.
Oh,
Disguised as an ordinary, everyday set of movie trivia cards is the world's most powerfully marked deck of cards.
wow.
I know! And the card would be... The most basic trick you can do with Focus is simply revealing which movie they're thinking of, or predicting ahead of time which movie they're thinking of. But come on, let's be honest. This is a Craig Petty and a Phil Smith project. This is the Titanic of marked deck projects. And we're only just hitting the tip of a giant iceberg. We've built the mother of all book tests into the famous quotes from each movie. Yeah, you heard that right. Each quote is a real quote from a real movie, and we've organically built the mother of all book tests into each one. We've built each Mohab word into the markings on the back. Not only that, we've hidden the first line of each quote, and the person who said the quote, and the year the film came out, as well as a ton of information. And we've marked the cards with information that's not even on the cards. This has never been done before. You can reveal information that they can only find out if they Google the film they're thinking of.
How did you know the groups? How did you know that?
Alright, dude, hang on a minute. What do you mean you can peek information that's not on the cards?
Right, there's certain information that's on the cards, but there's information that's not on there, but the marks tell you what that information is. Box office is a perfect example. The director's name is a perfect example. They're not printed on the cards. You don't get that information. You can have them think of a film and you can say, do you know what the box office is? And they're going to go, no. And you go, well, Google it. But before they've even picked up their phone to Google it, you already know what that is.
That's actually, that might be the smartest thing I've ever heard you come up with.
It's a game changer.
So get out of my bed, man.
I told you the name of your film, and I said, I see you thought of Spider-Man. 40 routines. But if Spider-Man was in the 16th position,
That's insane.
if you're a magician, we've got you covered as well. Imagine taking the Ghostbusters card and visually, and I mean super visually, pulling Slimer from the card and using him to find a movie that the spectator is merely thinking of. I mean, no, seriously, look, it's gone off the movie. I know! Do you see, there's no Slimer there, is there? That's because he's there. Watch. 1, 2, 3. If magic was real, it would kind of look like that, don't you think that was? In your head, over and over again, Spider-Man, Spider-Man, Spider-Man. He's done. When you're a professional working geek, so you want to blow your friends away at your next social event, and you want to really blow them away, we've got you covered. Focus is the perfect combination of easy, organic, and really powerful, hard-hitting, bloody amazing matchup. I searched for V for Vendetta. What the? My name's Craig Petty, and this is Focus.
Mate, it's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
I mean, you saw that. That was a night's filming in smoke and mirrors, and everybody was just freaking out. I mean, those are the reactions you can get because it's relatable. People can relate to that stuff. And you saw a lot of visual moments in there. You saw a lot of mind reading moments in there. I know a lot of magicians don't do mind reading, but this allows you kind of to do that if you want to. You know, you've got this one tool. I mean, there's 40 routines on this.
Yeah.
There's 40 routines. The tutorial is 10 hours long, which I know people are going to go, holy crap. And here's the thing. I included a 20-minute quick start guide. In 20 minutes, you will learn everything that you need to know about this deck. Don't watch any more. If you don't like long tutorials, watch the first 20 minutes and bin the rest and come up with your own stuff. I wanted to give people everything that I'd thought of in the last couple of years to do with this deck. So it's all on there for magicians, for mentalists, all broken down, all catalogued, all indexed. If you want to learn those routines, you can. If you don't want to, you don't have to. But the bottom line is it's a tool where you can go up to a group. If you want to do mentalism, you can. If you want to do magic, you can. I have regularly gone up to gigs and just had the focus deck in my pocket, and I've been good for the whole night. That shoot, I was there for like 3 or 4 hours, different routines, and there's over 2 hours of live performances on the project. So you can see all of those live performances. Almost every trick that's on the project, there is a live performance of. You can see the reactions that it gets.
Yeah, it's great.
And by the way, there's 2 different versions of any card at any number. You're welcome.
Mm. Well, you made a point there as well. I think mentalists will grab this deck anyway because, you know, it's a different premise. It's a movie premise. Mentalists love movie premises because they know how people connect with them. But I think this is, if you look at things like the Evoke deck, that's very mentalism. You're getting into people's emotions and things like that. With this one, it's mentalism, but it's equally strong, if not stronger, for a magician to pick up and do. There's visual bits in there. So if you want to dip your toe into a bit of mind reading, which is extremely powerful, this is the perfect one to go for because you can do your magic effects and then you can hit them with a reveal. It's so good. And if you use a peak wallet as well, things like this are perfect because they give you a reason to get your peak. You get someone to think of a movie, write it down on a card, that goes into the wallet. You get someone else to pick one of these movie cards. Now, as you get your business card out to write down their movie, that's when you get your peak. So using it as a justification. Now, I always like to combine routines like this with a piece of real mind reading, i.e. a peak wallet where they're just thinking of something. And having a tool like this gives me the perfect excuse to re-enter that wallet. You know, it's the perfect motivation. I'm going to say I sort of highly recommend it, which goes without saying, but I really do recommend this whether you're a magician or a mentalist. There's some things where you look at it and you go, this is good, but you need to know how to reveal. You need to know how to do this, because the mentalism's going to make this tool powerful. But with this one, I think anyone, whether you're a magician, you're going to love it, because just performing with movie cards is going to change the way you know, your routines play out and change the reactions you get. But for a mentalist, you're automatically going to see the value in it, without a doubt.
Yeah, and you're getting a ton of gaff cards in there as well, so you're getting a double backer. The key thing that you get in is, and Murph has said we could have released this as a separate trick, which we could have, but we haven't. We've included it in here. So you get two. By the way, the movie posters are not the original movie posters. Phil Smith created fan art for every single poster. So Phil created all of the posters from scratch. So that gave us the ability with the Ghostbusters card to whack Slimer on there, front and center. And then we created a second one, which is exactly the same, but there's no Slimer on the card. So you can pull Slimer visually off the card. And we also include a double backer with Slimer printed on one side. So now you can have someone pick a movie poster. You can have them lose it in the pack. You can take the Ghostbusters card, visually pull Slimer off. You can then take Slimer, throw him into the deck, and he lands on a card, and it's the card that they picked, and then you can visually put him back onto Slimer. There's so much you can do with it. It's incredible. So those two gaffed cards alone are just brilliant.
Yeah, so, no, that's brilliant, mate. Absolutely brilliant. I can't wait to delve into this. These only just turned up. I grabbed a set and I performed that Gemini Twins routine, but I haven't been able to sit down and watch the tutorial. So that's my weekend sorted. Thank you very much.
Well, if people get it from Alakazam, they can pick up that, and they can pick up the bag reborn, and that will be 17 hours total of Craig Petty. Like, my wife will tell you nobody would ever want that many hours of Craig Petty in their life, but it's going to keep you busy over Christmas. You know,
no, 100%, mate. Going to be great Christmas viewing. And you know what? What a perfect effect for when the family come round at Christmas.
It looks like a card game that you play. Yeah. You can play it as a card game if you want to. The whole point of it was designed like quote snaps. Like one person has the cards with the quotes on, one person has the movie posters, and you play Snap with films. It is an actual game that you can play if you want to. In fact, the original version of Focus came with a game instruction card. And then we eliminated that because we wanted to do the Ghostbuster stuff. But it was designed first and foremost to be a game.
Perfect, mate. Absolutely perfect. Well, Craig, I know you've got a gig to get off to, but I want to say thank you for joining us on the deep dive. And once again, you know, thank you for bringing out such an amazing product. I honestly don't know how you do it. You've joined us on 2 live launches this week alone, plus this. You're taking up more of my YouTube channel than me and Harry.
You're more than welcome. And I'll be there again next Tuesday for the Alakazam Christmas party. I've got something very, very, very special to share with all of the Alaka fam.
Mate, can't wait. So, Craig, thank you very much, mate. I'll let you get off to your gig.
Take care. And everybody, thank you so much for picking up Focus. I really appreciate it. You guys all, Merry Christmas.
Cheers, mate. So, guys, that's it for this week's Deep Dive special with the legendary Craig Petty. Now, as of recording this, remember this has just gone live on our site. If you're watching it when it's just gone up, these are in stock. So go grab yourself one. You will not be disappointed. Whether you are a mentalist, if you're a mentalist, you're going to know the power anyway. If you're a magician that's never done mentalism before, even an absolute beginner, this is a tool that is going to open up so many doors for you. All right, so go pick it up. It's called Focus by Craig Petty, and you can pick yours up at Alakazam right now. We've got them in stock in both the USA and the UK warehouses, so you can go and grab one wherever you are in the world. And before I go, just remember, if you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. You'll be notified every single time we go live or post a video on our YouTube channel. And remember, this coming Tuesday the 17th, we have our online Christmas party at 7 p.m. GMT, so join us there on Facebook and YouTube. I'm Peter Nardi. Enjoy your weekend, and we will see you at the Christmas party. See you then.